Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're putting one of the world's most influential companies under the microscope, Apple.
That's right.
We're going beyond the headlines to truly unpack their recently released Q3 2025 financial results and the detailed earnings call transcript that came with it.
Lots to dig into there.
Our mission is to cut through the raw data, pull out the most important insights, and give you a shortcut to understanding not just what happened, but really why it matters for Apple's future and, well, what it signals for the tech landscape overall.
Kind of your guide to being truly informed about them.
Exactly. Think of this as your personal guide. Okay, let's unpack this. Apple just posted a June quarter revenue record, $94.0 billion.
Wow.
Which is up 10% year over year. Those are striking numbers, right? Especially that 10% growth. What's that signify in today's, economic climate?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because the sheer breadth of that growth is what really stands out. It wasn't like just a few bright spots. Apple saw increases in every single geographic segment, including Greater China and a lot of these really dynamic emerging markets, India, the Middle East, South Asia, Brazil.
So truly global momentum.
Truly global. They set June quarter revenue records in over 24 countries and regions. I mean, that points to a really effective market strategy. And, very strong customer satisfaction, loyalty. It bodes incredibly well for their long-term potential.
It wasn't just the revenue, right? Their diluted earnings per share, the EPS.
Right, EPS, key metric.
That also hit a June quarter record.
Yeah.
All of 57 cents, up 12%.
Yeah.
And, beyond those top-line figures, net income reached a record $23.4 billion. Operating cash flow, really strong at $27.9 billion. They even declared a cash dividend for 26 cents per share.
And I think to really grasp the long-term implications here, you have to consider the installed base.
Ah, yes, the active devices.
Exactly. It hit a new all-time high across all product categories, all geographic segments. It's a critical indicator. It shows their continued influence and, crucially, their future revenue potential.
Yeah.
Through services, upgrades.
Right. That base provides this inertia, a platform for future growth, almost regardless of just new hardware sales each quarter.
Precisely. It's a powerful foundation.
Okay, so those strong overall numbers paint a clear picture. But what's really driving the momentum, let's zoom in a bit, the specific product lines hitting new highs, starting, of course, with the iPhone.
The big one.
Yeah. This powerhouse grew 13% year over year. $44.6 billion, its highest ever June quarter revenue.
Driven, they said, by the incredible popularity of the iPhone 16 family.
Right, strong double-digit growth compared to the 15 family.
Yeah.
And get this, they shipped their 3 billionth iPhone since 2007.
3 billion, that number. It's not just volume, is it? It really underscores the network effect, the inertia Apple's built. But it also, raises that strategic question about market saturation in developed areas.
Pushing them more towards emerging markets.
Exactly. And deepening the services play, definitely, to keep getting revenue from that massive installed base. The fact that upgraders set a June quarter record, well, that just reinforces the ecosystem's stickiness.
And on the software side, they're adding things with iOS 26. Real-time call screening, hold assist, smarter messaging, live translation. These sound like more than just minor tweaks.
Oh, absolutely. These are significant enhancements, things that make the iPhone even more, well, indispensable.
Like real-time call screening. What does that actually mean?
It means AI analyzes calls as they happen, basically helping you decide whether to answer. Hold assist could maybe automate waiting on hold.
Okay, that'd be useful.
Right. Smarter messaging implies, more intuitive, context-aware stuff. And live translation, well, that breaks down language barriers right there on the device.
Making the device smarter in daily life.
That's the idea. More efficient.
Okay, turning to Mac. Revenue there was up, 15% year over year? $8 billion?
Yep, impressive. Largely driven by the strength of the M4 MacBook Air.
The world's most popular laptop, as they called it.
And Mac also set a June quarter record for upgraders, showed great performance in emerging markets, and they highlighted the Mac Studio, too, as their most powerful Mac ever for, demanding AI workflows.
And then services. Always a big story.
Always. Another all-time record setter, $27.4 billion, up 13% year over year.
And again, broad-based performance, developed and emerging markets.
Yep. Everything from cloud services, Apple TV, plus Apple Music, the App Store. It's across the board.
So if you connect the dots, iPhone, Mac, services, It really shows the ecosystem working together.
Powerfully demonstrates it, I'd say. The synergy. And that services growth, with well over 1 billion paid subscriptions now.
1 billion.
Yeah, it just highlights how valuable that expanding installed base really is. I mean, look at Apple TV Plus set. It's gaining serious traction. 81 Emmy nominations this year alone.
Wow, a platform record for them.
Yeah, and over 2,700 award nominations, nearly 600 wins overall. It's not just about selling hardware anymore, is it?
No, it's the whole connected experience, the recurring revenue.
Exactly. Even the App Store saw double-digit growth, set a June quarter record. Still a key driver of that ecosystem value.
Okay, so while those headlines are strong, it's worth noting not every category grew. iPad revenue was $6.6 billion, actually down 8% year over year.
Right.
But Apple seemed, well, pretty positive despite that dip, and also for wearables. What's the justification there? Is it just tough comparisons or something else?
Well, it's a crucial question. Apple definitely views it as an expected dip, mostly because of that tough comparison against last year's launch of the iPad Air and iPad Pro.
Ah, right. The timing.
Exactly. But more importantly, it comes down to their long-term strategy. Keep expanding the active installed base.
Okay.
So even with that tougher comparison, the fact that over half the customers buying an iPad this quarter were new to the product,
That's significant.
very significant. It's an indicator of future growth, future ecosystem lock-in. They're still bringing fresh users into the fold, which is incredibly valuable over time.
And there was a similar story for wearables, home, and accessories. That includes Apple Watch, AirPods, down 9% to $7.4 billion.
Yes, similar reasoning, difficult comparisons, especially on accessories, maybe linked to those previous iPad launches.
Right.
But again, over half of the Apple Watch purchasers were new to the product, which kind of highlights the 10-year anniversary of the watch, its role in health and fitness. And AirPods are getting features like studio quality audio recording, camera remote capabilities. So the strategy, it seems, is less about hitting peaks in every category every single quarter.
More about that steady expansion of the user base.
Exactly. And deepening engagement within the ecosystem. It also speaks to how these devices maybe have longer life cycles now, lines blurring between categories.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Beyond the financials, what really stood out in the earnings call was Apple's emphatic stance on AI. Tim Cook called it one of the most profound technologies of our lifetime.
Yeah, that was a strong statement.
What did he highlight? What does it tell us about their long-term vision beyond just adding features?
Well, it signals a pretty fundamental shift, I think. Apple's integrating AI in a way they describe as deeply personal, private, and seamless, right where users need it.
Okay.
They've already released over 20 Apple Intelligence features, things like visual intelligence, maybe enhanced photo editing or understanding images and apps. And cleanup could be AI decluttering or maybe noise removal in audio.
Interesting. And more coming. Live translation, Workout Buddy,
Later this year, yeah.
and a more personalized series apparently on the horizon for next year, powered by Apple Silicon, running on the device. But they also mentioned something called private cloud compute architecture for advanced tasks. Can you unpack that a bit? Why is that critical for their privacy promise?
Right, that's quite innovative. Instead of sending all your sensitive data to some big centralized cloud.
Which is what usually happens.
Often, yeah. Apple's approach lets private AI tasks run either directly on your device using their silicon or securely on their private servers, but in a way that really protects individual privacy, doesn't store your personal data. That's a significant differentiator.
So they're really betting on privacy as a key feature of their AI.
Absolutely. They're growing their AI investments significantly, reallocating a fair number of people to focus on it. It reflects this belief that devices will be complementary, not substitution, in an AI world.
Meaning the iPhone and other devices remain central.
Exactly. Their utility continues, enhanced by this personal private AI.
That sounds promising, especially the privacy angle.
Right.
But what are the challenges there? Scaling that kind of privacy-first AI, especially when competitors are using massive amounts of user data. Are there trade-offs?
Certainly. It's definitely a challenge. It needs more sophisticated on-device processing, specialized servers to keep that privacy promise. The trade-off might be in the sheer breadth of some AI capabilities compared to models trained on, vast, less restricted data sets.
Right.
But Apple's bet is clearly that the user trust, plus the seamless integration in their ecosystem, will provide a more compelling, more valuable experience overall, even if some highly generalized AI features develop a bit more slowly, perhaps.
Makes sense. Beyond AI, they also highlighted other big investments, more values-driven ones.
Yeah, they announced updates for Global Accessibility Awareness Day magnifier for Mac, accessibility nutrition labels for apps, things like that.
And the huge U.S. investment commitment, $500 billion over the next 4 years.
That's right. Driving innovation, creating jobs, areas like advanced manufacturing, silicon engineering, building ships in Arizona across 12 states.
There was also a new commitment with MP Materials for recycled rare earth materials. That sounds important. What are rare earths, and why is recycling them a big deal for Apple?
Yeah, that's noteworthy. Rare earth materials are these critical, often hard-to-source components vital for modern electronics. Think your phone's vibration motor, camera lenses. Mining them can be environmentally intensive. So Apple committing to recycled rare earths shows their increasing focus on sustainable manufacturing and also supply chain resilience.
Reducing reliance on tricky global supply chains.
Exactly. And it aligns with their broader environmental goals. Plus, they mentioned an Apple Manufacturing Academy opening in Detroit this August.
Lots going on there.
Yeah.
Okay, but of course, no company operates in a bubble. They're navigating this complex global chessboard. What about external pressures? Tariffs, for instance. How are they handling those costs?
Yeah, those tariff costs are substantial. They incurred about $800 million in Q3.
Just in Q3?
Just Q3.
Yeah.
And they estimate that'll jump to about $1.1 billion for the September quarter, assuming current policies hold.
So how do they manage that?
Well, they're actively optimizing their supply chain and, crucially, doing more in the United States, which ties directly back to those big U.S. investment commitments we just talked about.
A strategic shift in response.
Seems like it. A direct response to tariff burdens, maybe other geopolitical factors too.
Interestingly, they also saw about a 1-point boost to their overall 10% growth in Q3 from something they called a pull ahead of demand. What does that mean?
Pull-ahead basically means customers bought iPhones and Macs earlier than maybe they normally would have. Mostly in April, mostly in the U.S.
Why?
It was directly tied to discussions around tariffs, consumers perhaps anticipating potential price increases later on.
So people rush to buy before potential hikes.
Seems that way. It just shows how quickly market dynamics can shift based on external factors. And from a broader supply chain view, it's interesting, most iPhones sold in the U.S. now apparently have India as their country of origin.
Not China.
For the U.S. market, mostly India now for iPhone. While most Macs, iPads, Apple Watches sold stateside are coming from Vietnam, products for other international markets, largely still originating from China, it seems.
That manufacturing shift is really relevant when we look at China itself. Despite these adjustments, China is still crucial for Apple, right?
Yeah.
They actually saw growth there this quarter.
They did, up 4% year over year.
What drove that, given all the dynamics?
It was driven by an acceleration in iPhone sales and pretty substantial Mac growth. Government subsidies apparently play a role, boosting spending.
Okay.
The iPhone installed base in Greater China hit an all-time record. iPhone upgraders in mainland China also set a record for the June quarter.
So still very engaged.
Highly engaged. In fact, iPhone had the top 3 selling models in urban China, and the MacBook Air and Mac Mini were the top-selling laptop and desktop in all of China. It just shows a resilient market despite the shifts. China's still incredibly important.
And customer satisfaction remains high.
Incredibly high, yeah.
Yeah.
In the U.S., 98% for iPhone, 97% for Mac. That loyalty is key.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does it mean for you, the listener, the savvy consumer, the learner? We've seen Apple deliver a truly remarkable June quarter.
Yeah, really strong.
Driven by iPhone, Mac, services, that expanding global installed base.
Really?
They're making these deep strategic bets on AI, really investing in how we interact with tech, and shifting their manufacturing footprint to navigate all these global complexities.
So maybe here's a thought for you to mull over. Given Apple's continued success in growing that installed base, attracting new users across so many different markets and products, how will their deep integration of AI, especially with that more personalized Siri and the privacy focus?
How will that redefine how we interact with technology?
Exactly. And what new must-have experiences might emerge from that? Things we maybe can't even imagine yet.
Something to think about until next time. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.